Rays of Hope is a children's grief center that grew out of our community and a need to support children who'd had losses and change due to death, divorce, separation, other painful transitions. And not every community has a building that says, this is a children's grief center. We recognize that children grieve and we're going to do something about it. Our history goes way back. Hospice Midland, whose primary mission is to support and to meet the unique needs of terminally ill patients and their families. Families is a really important part of that mission statement, and so they discovered we really didn't have any programs in Midland, Texas to support kids or grandkids of those who had died. So they went in search of a program, found a program called Rainbows, brought it back to our community, looked for a place to host it. We were fortunate to be able to use Holy Trinity Episcopal Church. It was a great program and it was doing great, but it needed to be more. We had an opportunity to grow it. A man in Midland came and said, would you like a building? And only in Midland, Texas does somebody say, do you want a building? What that meant was we got to take the building and its structure but renovate it to really meet the needs of grieving children. When I approached our board, they said, rather than it look like a building that kids are just being allowed to use, let's make it look like a building that was built for kids. We're more proud of the work that happens here than we are proud of the way the building looks.
What brought me to Rays of Hope was the loss of my wife and the mother of my 2 children.
What brought me to Rays of Hope was because when I was 4, my mom passed away.
Well, I came to Rays of Hope when my brother died over 5 years ago. I didn't want to come, but I was dealing with, all the things that come from losing a family member, so I came up here to get some help.
What I took away from Rays of Hope was how to cope with my loss, and also, I'm not the only person that has lost a mom or a dad, and that life goes on whether or not you lose a loved one or, but also that one day I'll see her again.
I think for me, Rays of Hope, it allowed me to deal with my emotions and what I was going through with people who understood what I was going through, because a lot of my other friends outside of this building just didn't understand. So here, you're able to connect with people and you're able to deal with what you're going through easier. So
what I took away from Rays of Hope was that I wasn't alone in the death process. There were several people involved, of course, not just my kids, but of course her parents and my parents, all of her friends, family. Death is a part of life. Once it happened to me, of course, the first part I thought was I was alone in this, that this just happened to me. I couldn't believe this happened to me. And I walk into a room full of people that it happened to them also, and they're dealing with the grief. I learned that there's different stages, and those stages don't come all in order. They come back and forth. It just depends. But it gave me tools to actually deal with it, deal with the grief, and how to, mainly, the reason I came was to help my daughter, and how to talk to her and how we both could heal, through talking of all the things we learned. The fact that life does go on, you deal with the grief and you go on and you do heal, and it is possible to heal. If you have a child that lost a loved one, you hear it all the time, it's like, well, time will heal. And if I wouldn't have come here and just let time heal it, it wouldn't have happened. It would have just still been there. Whether if it's a friend, if it's an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, and especially a parent, if you love that child, you'll bring them to Rays of Hope.
For our closing ceremony, we do a celebration of hope. There's messages of love and hope and forgiveness tied onto the balloons. The kids are surrounded by the adults who love and care for them. And as we release those balloons and we watch them float up and away, we remember the words of Michael, a 5-year-old, who says, "Rays of Hope is a place where your hopes get raised."